All right. Hey there, Dan here. And I want to talk about MasterCard today. Yesterday, when I was on Charles Payne's show, this was the third stock that I wanted to talk about in addition to NVIDIA and Google or Alphabet. But I don't think we ever got around to it. There never seems to be quite enough time. But that's television. That's the way it goes. It's nobody's fault other than the clock. So I wanted to go back here, though. We bought my MasterCard a couple days ago, I think it was, and yeah, like right here. And I said, I think we're a little bit late. It's typically you want to be buying these things because of a pullback. You see, oh, it's moving higher, it's off support. Let's get this stock now. Let's start a position on it now. But I really felt like I could do it without doing that, simply because I saw what was happening here. The stock had just really broken through 400. Look at the duration of the base here, of the high base. It was 2 years, like almost 3 years. So this is a really, really solid base. And then you also see Visa, which has given us kind of a similar thing. So what I'm saying is it's like it was time. And excuse me, so I look at that and I see that the stock is starting to break out above this downtrending line. Volume's kind of about average. There wasn't really much volume at all. Nothing remarkable, just the same old. But it just seemed to me like this was a big technical break right here. This last high way back here and here, it's too far back to really be relevant, other than just to pattern watchers like me who will see this and remark on it. So I really felt like the downside was to 400 bucks, though I kept the stop a little bit below, like right below the 50-day moving average. And so, okay, fine. So I felt like in one respect I was late, but in other respects, I was early. So I'm going with the early part, frankly, right now. So what do? Well, the stock is just absolutely going great gangbusters here, trading completely above the the upper Bollinger Band, which is supposed to contain, I think, like 91%. I forget what the stats are, but it's high. 91% of all price action. So we're seeing here 4 consecutive closes outside the middle Bollinger Band, and that's after this initial breakout right here. And so this is what strong stocks do, and it's not a sell signal. It's a buy signal. It tells you, like, hey, something's going on here, and people are buying the stock maybe higher than they should, but they're doing it for a reason. And so this is what's really happening with MasterCard right now. This is exactly what's happening with it. And so on a short term, on a swing basis, it's time to really start hiking your stops up. If you got hopefully a better entry than I did here, if you're really, really focused on locking in your profits, then go ahead and do that. I just don't see that there's that much, there's really not that much profit to be taken at all. I would just stay the course and focus on this weekly chart. And the idea is this is a typical phase 1 move of a phase 3 volatility squeeze sequence that I've always looked at, where the phase 1 move is here, and then what we really want to do is know how far the pullback goes. And in my view, if it stays up, if it holds 400, that's a good outcome. It could fall below our entry point, but I don't care about that. What I care about is what happens next. And so I think on this one, you got to have staying power. You want to have a little staying power for this kind of trade, and then ultimately you'll be able to stick with this trend, because the way this thing's going, and they just announced that they're going to raise their credit processing fees, which kind of screws people like me, but that's okay. Life isn't fair. I'm still pretty damn blessed. But Visa and MasterCard are both raising their processing fees. That's going to go right to their bottom line, and that's why I think this stock ultimately, I think it's got a 450 handle on it, and my bet is before the end of the year. So that's all I got to say, Hope you all have a great evening and you're having a good week. Just remember, next weekend is Labor Day, so everybody gets a day off. And I don't know about you, but I don't plan on doing any labor that day.